What is going on, baseball and Mets fans, and welcome back to episode number 9 of the Stressing Mets podcast. And oh my, this is the most exciting time and the most exciting week within the Major League Baseball season. The New York Mets have 6 games remaining to play of the season, while they are currently posting a record of 87-69, 18 games above 500, and currently hold second place in the National League Wild Card, tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks as of the time recording this podcast. Right now, the Mets are in the best spot they could be in for what's left to come. So we have a lot of stuff to dive into today, so let's dive into it. And of course, let's start off with the Mets homestand, as the Mets just finished up their final homestand series of the regular season, going 6-1, which is awesome. Phenomenal. You couldn't get any better than that. Sweeping the Nationals by starting off with the walk-off and finding the series by scoring 10-plus runs in back-to-back games, 2 and 3 of that series. The Mets essentially did everything they needed to do in that series, whether it was the offense breaking out big time, hitting for the long ball, extra base hits, hitting with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, and much, much more. And even in the first game where the offense struggled, they were backed up by their pitching. The pitching got the job done. They backed up their offense. It's a 50-50 game, and that's what the Mets did. The offense and pitching, like I said, have been balancing each other lately. It's kind of like a yin and a yang, or something that goes together. It hasn't, been a problem lately since, if one factor doesn't show up, the other factor will show up. And that's been a big reason to why the Mets have been successful as of recently. Then heading into, obviously, and arguably the second most important series of the season against the Philadelphia Phillies at home, the Mets got the job done, taking 3 of 4 from them. Definitely an exciting 4-game series, as it was the highest attendance for a 4-game series in Citi Field history. Nearly 165,000 fans, including 2 sellouts. Overall, everything that needed to happen, happened. Whether the offense came to life, clutch hitting, fundamental hitting, the pitching, doing their job, going deep into games, and giving quality outings and performances, and giving the Mets a chance to win. Overall, a 6-1 homestand is the best way the Mets could have ended their 2024 regular season at home at Citi Field. You look at where they were in May at Citi Field to this past week at Citi Field, and I mean, if you told me that, I would say it's a completely different team, and it's really not. So crazy how that stuff works. Successful home stand in the books. Now, going on to our next topic on today's agenda, we have Luis Angel Acuna. The brother of Ronald Acuna obviously was called up just over a week ago in response to the Francisco Lindor injury, and it really feels like nothing has even happened. It feels like Lindor's still here. The Mets are 6-1 since Lindor went down, and Acuna is been a big help, as the 22-year-old Venezuelan infielder is batting .385 with 3 homers, 2 doubles, a triple, 6 RBIs, and an OPS of 1,292, and already has a 0.6 WAR through 1 week in the big leagues, which is phenomenal, unheard of. I would have not even expect that if you told me that when he first got called up over a week ago. Acuna's bat really has just been sparked out of nowhere, it feels. Acuna, whose reputation mostly centered around defense, versatility, and speed, now has 3 home runs in the major leagues in a week and has discovered some untapped power, which is very interesting to see from Acuna. He's a great player to watch, and hopefully we'll get to see him play in October baseball for this year and, many more years to come. So it's going to be interesting to see how Acuna is down the line. Super exciting player. In other news, like I said, we did mention the Francisco Lindor injury with the lower back tightness. An MRI revealed everything was clean. The issue is Lindor is still saying that he does feel pain and is hurt. And according to Lindor, he can play now, but he would still feel some pain. Acuna has been playing great with the absence of Lindor, but, it'd be great to have both of them back, of course. You wouldn't decline it. But it comes to question. You have 6 games left, 3 against Atlanta, 3 against Milwaukee on the road. Will Lindor come back? Will he come back for the Atlanta series? Will he come back for the Milwaukee series? If they make the postseason, will he play? It could be, can he be possible to fully go out there? Will they just DH him? I think there's a lot of questions that comes down the road for Francisco Lindor. He's been a big asset to this team. He's carried this team long enough, and could the Mets rest him and maybe put the work on someone else's back? Whether that's Acuna, whether that's Nimmo, whether that's Alonso, whether that is JD Martinez. So I think right now it's interesting, but Francisco Lindor, says he's optimistic he'll return this season, and when we say this season, I mean 6 games left, so we'll see. Maybe he'll miss the first game in Atlanta or the second game, but you'd like to have him back. So we'll have to wait and see, but talked about it. The Atlanta series, deja vu from 2022 is here. The Mets are playing a 3-game series for the second-to-last series in Atlanta. If you've ever seen, that Back to the Future meme, hey, I think I've seen this before. This is literally that. 3-game set tomorrow, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 7:20 starts. The Mets are facing a 3-game series in Atlanta against the Braves to arguably determine, will the Mets make the playoffs or will the Braves make the playoffs? And that's kind of going to determine it. Going into Game 1, you'll have Severino on the bump. Game 2, you'll have David Peterson. And, of course, Game 3, for the final game, you will have Sean Manaea. So, 3 guys that, definitely underrated guys going into this year. All 3 of those guys have had huge, big years. Definitely overachieved their expectations. Can they show why? Can they still keep the ball and the wagon going? Ideally, if you ask me, I'd love a sweep, but I say you got to take 2 or 3. If you take 2 or 3, I think you're guaranteed to make the postseason and the Braves are out. But like I said, if you're only going to win 1 or get swept, I would say their postseason odds are going to come down to a thread, come down to a hair. So we'll have to see how things go. Obviously, after that series, the Mets do play a 3-game series in Milwaukee, and the Braves do play a 3-game series in Kansas City. Kind of lucks out because obviously the Brewers already clinched the division, so I guess that final 3-game series against the Mets, the Brewers are just playing, I guess, for bragging rights. It doesn't really mean a whole lot, so maybe the Brewers will rest a lot of their valuable assets, and maybe that'll give the Mets an opportunity to win that series, if not sweep. So, I don't want to say the Braves series is it, but you still have an opportunity, but it's going to come down to a lot, and you're going to have to worry about you winning and then the Braves losing, where it'd be nice. The Mets just take 2 or 3 from Atlanta, and then you don't have to worry about the final 3-game series between the Mets and the Brewers and the Braves and the Royals. So we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, when it comes to the Braves series, pitching needs to come into clutch. Got to get the job done. They've been going 6-7 innings plus as of the last couple of weeks, and you need that. You need them to go anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 innings. Quality start, give up 2 to 3 runs max. Bullpen needs to carry. Offense needs to carry. They need to execute when given every opportunity. They cannot come short on really anything. Every pitch is going to matter. Every pitch, every swing, every hit, every ball, everything is going to come down to it. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's going to be an extremely exciting series to come. Alrighty, baseball fans, and that is the end of this video. Please feel free to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel the Mets have been recently? What do you feel about the final homestand? What do you feel about the 6 games remaining in the season? How do you feel about the Mets, the Braves, the Padres, the D-backs, whoever else is possibly going to be in the postseason? Do you think the Mets could do it? Do you think they'll fall short? Next 3 days is really going to make or break the season, essentially. Crazy to hear. Crazy to think that I'm saying on September 23rd, the Mets have a chance to make the postseason, where we looked at where we were on May 23rd. So, super happy to see where we are now. But like I said, that is the end of this video. Let's go Mets. Let's get the job done. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Till next time, baseball fans, see ya, and let's freaking go Mets.